Drum roll, please.
It having reached the hour of 5:30, I am calling the December 12th, 2023 Modesto City Council meeting to order and ask the city clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Wright.
Here.
Councilmember Scutia-Brachem.
Here.
Councilmember Alvarez.
Here.
Vice Mayor Ricky.
Present.
Councilmember Bavaro is absent this evening. Councilmember Williams.
Here.
And Mayor Zwalin.
Here. Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation from John Apodaca, Good Life Church.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon, or excuse me, good evening. Let us pray. Lord, we come before you asking for wisdom and guidance for our leaders tonight. Guide their steps, Lord, as they serve this community. Let every decision impact our city in a positive way. Give them your grace as they bring hope to the greatest city in the world. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. Does the city clerk have any announcements?
Yes, Mayor. Just one short announcement. Written comment was received, and that was forwarded to the council.
Thank you. Do any of the council members have any conflicts of interest? Thank you. Will the city attorney report out on closed session?
Yes, Mayor. Council did have closed session today on a matter related to labor negotiations. No reportable action was taken.
Thank you. As noted on the agenda, public comment will only be in person. Zoom will still be available for viewing and wordly translation. Does anyone wish to speak on any item under public comment? This is for items not on the council agenda, and you have 3 minutes to speak. I have blue cards, so I will read them in the order that they were received. Beth Goodrich.
Okay. Hi again, Mayor Zwellen and council members. So we're back again. So last year, we were here presenting on our concern about the intersection at Coldwell and Sycamore, and I just got your email, so thank you. Anyway, we just wanted to report back over the last year. We had one day where the police force came out and we had 4 motorcycle cops giving tickets, which was quite thrilling. We had our popcorn and we were sort of watching the excitement at that intersection. We kind of thought, ooh, this might be the gateway to more excitement, but it just seemed like it was a one-day episode, but we appreciated that. And they came and put a little paint on the stop sign, and we appreciated that, but we still, as you can see from the YouTube videos, my son has added 8 volumes to the videos of people not stopping, excuse me. So anyway, we're just here to request some additional traffic calming measures for that intersection, just because it is a school, technically a school zone, there. So maybe a little stop sign with some flashy lights, or those low profile lights, or even nearby at Stoddard, there are some humps that can slow down cars. So anyway, just respectfully requesting, because the cars go through there quite fast, as you can see from the videos. So we appreciate your time, and thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Did I forget anything?
Next is Derek Castle.
Good evening, Mayor, Council members, City staff. I mentioned at last Tuesday's council meeting about the need for 7 nights a week overnight winter warming centre for unsheltered folk. By 9 o'clock the next morning, I'd already received a call from city staff that they had already had early morning discussions with the Gospel Mission, who had quickly decided that to open their dining room every night as a warming centre. This was really exciting news. Unsheltered folk now have somewhere warm to sleep. this winter. I've made up flyers and I've handed them out to the unsheltered folk in Crusader and Insulan Parks. No doubt there's going to be some who'll still be sleeping outdoors, but some of those are ones who are doing so because their mental illness means that they're just not aware enough of what damage to their health that can do. But the good news is that now we have Care Court, and with Care Court, chat can take folk to Care Court, and Care Court is obligated to find appropriate accommodation for them and to get them out of the cold. So as far as I can tell, we're the first city, at least in California, to both have 7 nights a week overnight warming centre and also guaranteed accommodation for those whose mental illness means that they are too ill to use it. Modesto should be proud. I want to thank our city manager. Thank you, Joe, for supporting this and for your reminders that one size doesn't fit all when it comes to addressing homelessness. And I want to thank our amazing Community and Economic Development Department. Once again, they've come through and acted very rapidly on this. And I want to thank the Modesto Gospel Mission, Jason and team, who've been brave enough to try some low barrier responses to our homeless crisis. We've got a long way to go, obviously, in addressing homelessness, but this is another compassionate step forward. As we approach Christmas, it's good to remind ourselves that Jesus Christ was born in a place where animals were corralled. Jesus was born unsheltered. And that wasn't just bad luck, it was God's way of indicating his identification with the poor and the unsheltered. Jesus' ministry was primarily about caring for those on the streets. Over the last 6 months, I've been trying to raise awareness of the needs of unsheltered folk on our streets. In doing so, I've been trying to follow the example of the one who as a baby was laid in a manger. I wish you all a very happy Christmas for yourselves and for your families. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Citlali Alvarez.
Good evening. First, I'd like to thank the city officials for putting this time to allow me to share my concerns with you. My name is Citlali Alvarez. I'm a senior at Modesto High School, and I'm here with the Parks Youth Committee. Just to give some context, the Parks Youth Committee is a local committee here in Modesto that is being funded by All Children Thrive and ACT and is being supported by the Tuolumne River Trust, or TRT. We are focused on achieving park equity, specifically in West Modesto or District 2. So we have found that the parks in West Modesto, specifically James Marshall and Robinson Road, are not serving their communities to the best of their abilities. After surveying 200 community members through multiple surveys, we have identified that there's many issues that need to be addressed in these communities, specifically that they have a lack of needed amenities. This includes, but is not limited to, a lack of safe play structures, functioning water fountains, and shaded areas. These parks are also not easily accessible to those in these areas as well. We as the committee are asking to address these issues by adding improvements to these parks, James Marshall and Robertson Road, and to also add future policy changes to ensure that these parks continue to get the proper amenities that they need. These issues must be addressed as the parks are important outlets for many communities. They provide a safe place for many to relax, exercise, and get together with others in their communities, helping to build a bond with those around them, which is something that we all need now. And once again, I'd like to thank you guys for listening to me, and to thank you guys, the elected officials and the city staff as well. Thank you.
You're welcome. Angelica Aguilar.
Good evening, my name is Angelica Aguilar, and I'm currently a senior at Modesto High, and I'm also here as a representative of the Park Youth Committee, like Citlali. First, I'd like to take the time to thank all of those present, especially the elected officials who have already met with our committee. So for a little bit of background, the Park Youth Committee is funded by All Children Thrive, an initiative which is dedicated to improving the well-being of children all across California, and we are also supported by the organization Tuolumne River Trust. Together, the Park Youth Committee itself is a group of high school students who are all dedicated to achieving park equity, and we are all from diverse backgrounds across Modesto. Our primary goal is to solve this lack of park equity between more affluent parks and lower income parks in West Modesto. Specifically, we're focusing on James Marshall Park and Robertson Road Park. We are asking to bring awareness regarding park equity in the hopes that it will promote future policy change and allow the reallocation of park funding so that more can be aimed at parks that require more improvement. Through a survey we created, the committee has had many outreach opportunities during which we interacted with various members of the community. For example, during the Family Health and Resource Fair hosted by West Modesto Community Collaborative, we collected a wide variety of responses spanning from youth to seniors. We hope to receive help from city officials and council members through future policy change and community members through their awareness. Ultimately, our goal is to prevent people from not using parks to their full advantage, as we want them to receive the mental, physical, and even spiritual health benefits that come with the use of such recreational spaces. Again, I'd like to thank all who are present for allowing us your attention as we bring more awareness to both our project and the importance of park equity. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next is Scotty.
Good evening, City Council. Before I begin, I'd just like to remind the council members that they swore an oath to uphold the Constitution and protect freedom of speech. No matter what the ADL has told you, you can't shut me down. So I'm here today to discuss a topic that may offend some people, but that won't deter me from coming up here to speak the truth. It's becoming increasingly evident day after day that we have a problem in this country that not only affects the highest levels of our government, but local governments just the same. That problem is the Jew. We can no longer sit idly by while the Jew continues to destroy our once great nation. So I'd like to propose a resolution for this council to consider. We need to quickly pass a resolution condemning the parasitical activity of the Jew and call for a nationwide expulsion. The Jew has taken over all aspects of our lives. These flyers I have contain nothing but facts. Oh, I lost my spot. They contain nothing but facts, and I implore everyone to visit gtvflyers.com, that's gtvflyers with a y.com, and try to debunk the information. It's all facts. As shocking as these facts may be, you cannot deny the truth. I'd like to take a moment to quickly go over some of them. So here we have the ADL, which was established in 1913 to protect a Jewish child murdering rapist pedophile named Leo Frank. These are the people that are responsible for censoring Americans. And the same people seem to own all of our media companies here in America. About 6 Jewish corporations own 96% of our media. I don't know if anybody knows, but the Jews are 2% of a minority here in this country, and it's kind of weird that they seem to seize that much power. Here I have the COVID agenda. So everybody from the CDC director, CDC deputy director, chief of staff, head of Pfizer, Moderna CEO, you can get these at gtvflyers.com. They're all Jews too. That's strange, isn't it? So this is one of my favorites, slave trade. You know, my people take a lot of the blame for bringing the blacks over here in the first place, when if you take a closer look, all these slave ships were all owned by Jewish people, and Jews are not white. Mass immigration, all Jewish. We have 30 Jewish NGOs that continue to open our borders to flood this country in with undesirable people. It goes on and on. I have plenty here. So we can keep pretending like this isn't a problem. We need to expel the Jews. Thank you.
Next is Sebastian Jones.
Well, freedom. Well, good afternoon, Mayor and my fellow city councilmen. Well, You know what I'm here for. I didn't get a call. I'm working on something. Well, I got 3 minutes. And if anybody know me, I don't give in. And I think we need to move on this year. For those who don't know, Mr. Jones have made a proposal to the city to take the number off the building, 10th Street. And let's put a name on it. And the young lady that I chose was Jenny Canor or Jenny K. Plaza. I think it's fitting. For many, many, many years, she was on both sides, city, county, and stand guard and everything else she sat on. But it's time. I just, the way I work is, I need this to be put on the agenda. We need to start talking about it now. It doesn't take long. You guys got the power right now. Well, let's start talking about it. You guys, most of you guys up there know my telephone number. You know, 30 years of community activist. And I sit on about 7 different boards in this town, including county and city. So, I'm thinking I may have to get out and get some more signatures like I did for the Martin Luther King Park and Center, even though I was robbed for the center. But I collected 8,000 signatures, door to door in downtown. Well, if I got to do this here, all over, I don't mind walking and talking to people because I think it's fitting and deserving. City Council, Mayor, I asked you, let's move on this. We don't need to waste any time. Let's get together, or call me or whatever, meet with me, and let's take the number off the building, 10th Street Plaza. Let's name it Jenny Canor Plaza or Jenny K. Plaza. And also, I just want to let the public know that I am disabled in my vocal cords and I was robbed of 2 minutes. I have to let the people know that I'm disability and they have all the papers that they took 2 minutes from me. Thank you for your time, and let's get together and let's do this.
All right, Steve?
Quite obviously, refusing to do the right thing, refusing to make a stand for what's right does not work out that well. This town is facing the prospect of having its serial killer cop, Joseph Lamantia, who has killed 5 people and murdered a family friend of mine, come back and get his job all over again. And I know that you guys like to point out limitations of your position, and I do understand that government has structure to it, but you are our political leaders. You are the mayor and the city council and the city manager, who does a lot of things and no one really gets to know exactly what he does, but he does them, like interrupting the mayor to have the cops sicked on me, for example. And our city attorney. You guys are our leaders. You don't get to pretend like it's somebody else's problem, okay? I'd like to see you guys protect your community. What are you prepared to do if Joseph Lamantia is given his job back by another cop, essentially? The arbitration process is a joke. We don't get to know what's going on. They keep all the steps from the public. Any day now, they could drop a bomb on us and say, no, you have to take this serial killer back. So you failed your community, and I want to know what you're prepared to do if that happens. Because it's not going to be long before he kills again. It's not going to be long before a Modesto police officer in general kills again. We've already seen that pattern. I was in here standing up for Trevor Siebert's family, and during that time frame, you guys did it again. And so now I have two families that I have to come in here and advocate on behalf of. What are you going to do to keep us safe from Joseph Lamantia? And neo-Nazis, but that's a separate conversation that you do need to have. But what are you going to do to keep this community safe from Joseph Lamantia? Mr. Alvarez, I can tell you're very attentive because you're staring at me like you're trying to burn a hole in my face. Do you have anything to share related to keeping our community safe from Joseph Lamantia?
I'm just listening to you, Steve.
Okay. So when I don't know where Nick is tonight, but when he bullied me, called me a coward because I don't stick around to have conversations that I'm not allowed to have, he's ignoring the reality that you, Sue, have forbade this entire council from speaking. You lied about the application of the Brown Act for over 2 years. The circus tricks are over. What are you going to do to keep us safe from Joseph Lamantia? This question is open to all of you. Mr. Williams, do you have any thoughts? No. Rosa, would you like to share what you're going to do to keep your community safe from Joseph Lamantia? Okay, I've already pointed out how erroneous that is. You don't seem to care about truth and goodness because you are allowed to speak. And I don't have it right in front of me, but you know what the rules say, and that's not what they say. You are allowed to comment. So if that happens again, I'm looking at the people who have blood on their hands, who already have some blood on their hands.
All right, Darlene Ruiz. Thank you.
Good evening, City Council and Mayor. My name's Darlene Ruiz. I'm Trevor Siebert's mom. Did you notice the date today is 12/12? 12/12 is the time Trevor was taken from us on this earth. In 2 weeks, it'll be 3 years. Now Joseph Lamantia may get his job back, and I'm pleading with all of you. You guys have some power in our community to make sure that Joseph Lamantia doesn't get his job back. He's a threat to our community. He shouldn't be here. He has killed 5 people in the 11 years he was a police officer. Our chief of police should have the power to decide who's on our police force, not a labor lawyer or an arbitrator. I'm pleading with all of you to please stand up for our community and make sure Joseph Lamantia doesn't get his job back. We've lost enough people. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next is Ray Ruiz.
Hi, everybody. Ray Ruiz, kind of along the same lines, subject lines of Darlene. Trevor was my stepson. In 17 days, it'll be 3 years since we lost him. Still really sad to me how many people in this town still don't even know Trevor's story. You know, he's been coming here for 3 years, and the subject's always the same. If I can enlighten one person on what's going on with Trevor, then I've done my job today. I hope Joseph Lamantia doesn't get his job back. I don't think you guys have a lot of say in it. I know it goes up to an arbitration board. I know the city of Vallejo is in disarray after hiring a police officer back that's only killed 2 people. And there's a possibility that City of Modesto might be hiring a guy back that's killed 5. It's ridiculous to me. I don't know how much pull you guys have, but if you have any at all, and if you agree with Darlene and I and Steve and the people that know this case, you know, just asking for some sort of help. Anything, because we certainly don't want him to be a police officer again. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Next, Brittany Chavez.
My My name is Brittany Chavez. I come here on behalf of Paul David Chavez Jr., who was wrongfully murdered by Samuel Muncie, 7/14/2022. It seems like this city has the same problem. And it seems like every single one of you that's on this board is willing to do nothing. You get upset when people come up here when they're upset. We're upset because there is nothing that has been done. You want to make pretend and put these little committees together that do nothing. And I say they do nothing because of the simple fact that you have cops running them. It's not okay. When are you going to step up for us? I'm sorry, but do I have to take us back to history? The amendments were made for the people, not for y'all. It's to uphold our rights. So what are you guys going to do about it? We got to sit here and wait for more and more and more kills. Murderers roaming around. Serial killers like LaMattia. Who's next, Sam Muncie? You gave him 2 weeks time off. Is he even psychologically there? I don't know about you, but if I killed somebody, I don't think I would be there, would I? What are you going to tell my kids? They are already broken. I'm broken. I'm torn. Y'all took everything from me. And when I say y'all, I mean y'all. Because you are the city. We give our tax money, our money to fund you. You were supposed to help us to go against criminals like them.
That's right.
So what is going to happen next? Oh, more murderers, more killer police. Sweep it under the rug. Oh, we'll go and hide behind a door and cash them out for money. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here for justice. Justice needs to be served. If you do not tell these murderer cops enough is enough and actually put them away, well, it's going to continue. They have non-lethal weapons and they choose not to have them. Sam Muncie that day, he had a vendetta. We all know that he had an encounter with my husband 3 weeks prior. Who takes 26 seconds to murder somebody sleeping on the lawn? Tell me. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm sorry, Bavard's not even here. The one that wants to call everybody a coward or a grieving widow like myself stupid. Well, the only coward I see is the guy that's not here. So there's that. And maybe we leave because we don't want to look at your guys' faces because it's bullcrap.
All right, you've exceeded. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. All right, Teresa Clutter.
Good evening. I'm here for 2 things. First and foremost, justice for Paul Chavez. Just the mere fact that we are still sitting here and nothing has been done. We've got a committee in place, yet we haven't seen any positive outcome from this thing yet. Any changes, anything in the works that's a positive change moving forward. The problem is, Modesto PD, Stockton PD, it doesn't matter what city, there's always a killer cop that's lurking in the background. And the issue is, they can come and kill and there's a lawsuit and you guys pay out and everything kind of goes away because people are hopeless and that's all they get is some kind of check at the end of the day. But that check doesn't affect any of you. If that check had to be pulled from your paycheck, from your gross pay, every time one of your officers that you're responsible for, I bet you things would be a little bit different, wouldn't they? Would you like 10% off of your paycheck, off your gross pay every time a cop murdered? Eventually, let's see, LaMattia, that's 5 murders. 3 that he did in 2016. That is actually just disgusting. It's so disgusting and just baffling that one of your officers killed 3 times in 2016 and he was still on the force. And then he kills again. He doesn't kill that person, but then he goes and kills Trevor. And then he's off the force. I mean, it's just ridiculous, don't you think? How much money was paid out on all of these just for that one officer? And none of it affected any of you. You continue to get your pay raises, you continue to get your paychecks, you continue to climb your social ladder, right? But I'll be damned if that would be the same thing if it would hit you all personally and the officers. These officers need to carry their own personal liability insurance. After you kill somebody and they pay out policy limits, because $1 million isn't enough, these guys should have $50 million general liability policies on their heads. And when they kill, those policies paid out. And eventually, they will be uninsurable and they cannot carry a gun and they cannot be on the force. That's common sense, Mayor, Council. I mean, I'm not a genius, but I'm pretty street smart. Okay? And that's just common sense, right? Say it again. I mean, do the math. Justice for Paul Chavez.
All right, next. Kevin McClarty.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm going to change the subject for a moment, if I may. I want to speak to you about the traffic lights that have been changed to blinking yellow lights, or more specifically, left turn arrows, or what you would call dedicated left turn arrows that have been turned into flashing yellow arrows at many intersections in Modesto. And I'm not sure if you're aware of the ramifications of this, but it used to be that if you were making a left turn, that maybe 8 to 10 cars could make a left turn at any one given time when the left arrow was on, when the green arrow was activated. And no other cars would be coming toward you because they were stopped. They all had red lights, and so the danger was minimal. And if there was any danger, it would have been presented by a car that was going through a red light, and that doesn't happen that often. So basically speaking, it was a relatively safe way to make a left turn. Well, now they have been replaced with these blinking yellow lights that now make it so that when you approach the intersection to make your left turn, you have to wait for all of these oncoming cars to clear the intersection before you can make your turn. And one good example is Vintage and Sisk. Now, most people feel that they treat Sisk Road like a freeway. I'd say the average speed on Sisk Road during the commute hour is between 60 and 80 miles an hour. And you've got cars rushing toward you at that speed and you're trying to make a left turn. That's not cool. And I've lived there in that neighborhood for 40 years, and I don't feel safe there anymore, making a left turn to go onto my street. And I don't understand why this decision was made. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was that I understand that the Zoom meetings, that participants are no longer allowed to speak because of some out-of-town people that ruined it for everybody. And I wanted to encourage the mayor to rethink that if possible, because all you have to do is just mute them So if anybody gets out of hand, you can mute them. And so I would encourage you to allow people to speak at the Zoom meetings, and if someone gets out of hand, mute them. Thank you very much.
She could mute them.
You're
She
welcome.
Set it up.
Is there anyone else wishing to come forward to speak under public comment?
Set off, right? But not the neo-Nazis who just came in here. He didn't get cut off. He didn't get cut off.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council, City Manager Lopez, City Attorney Sanchez. Just wanted to come and say that this being your last meeting of the year, what an honor and privilege it has been working with the city at the county level. We do have our county board workshop, if any of you are available, on Thursday at 9:30 a.m. at
Your
Camp.
prodigy right here, Sue. This is what you want from Modesto, right? This is what you want from Modesto. This is what you guys want, right? This is the premieres. You guys go out and Starbucks together. What are you going to do to keep us safe from Joseph Lamantia?
Stephen?
What are you going to do to keep us safe
Stephen?
from Joseph Lamantia? I will read, but what are you going to do to
I'm going to make a
from
statement.
Joseph Lamantia?
Please do not disrupt the orderly conduct of these proceedings by continuing to speak out from the audience.
What are you going to do to keep us safe? Are you going to assault me right now because I care about my community?
Stephen?
Look how hungry this guy looks. Do not touch me. I am leaving. Do not.
All right, you've been given a warning, please. Thank you.
That's funny, but you can't give a warning to the person who
Thank
said
you.
hateful speech, though, right? But you can mute and pause when we're on Zoom, and then
All
that's
right.
when you want to go ahead and do that,
We're
right?
going to continue the meeting.
Yeah, thank you. Let's go, because we all know that she's for neo-Nazi now, and that this has all been rigged here and then, right? Thank you. It'll go on social platform. Thank you for confirming that, Sue and council. Not one of you got up and said anything,
All right.
except to the person who came up here. Thank you. Yep, exactly. Like this shit that I'm passing by right now. Underneath my motherfucking shoe.
All right.
So board workshop,
All right, if you'd like to begin from the beginning.
thank you.
Great.
So we have a board workshop at Camp Taylor, actually in Grayson, this Thursday at 9:30. If any of you would like to attend, kind of just sets the agenda for the upcoming 2024 year for the Board of Supervisors. And a lot of that agenda is cohesive with the City Council on things that we'll be working together, that I look forward to working together. Being this last meeting, I just also want to take this opportunity to thank you for what all of you do on a daily basis to help make our city a better place. And I am honored that we get to work together on the county level with all of you as people that are trying to make a positive change in our community. So for all of you, have a great holiday season with your loved ones. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to come forward to speak under public comment? And this is for items not on the agenda. Welcome.
Good evening. You all know me, I'm Zaf, and I'm not here to talk about the homeless today. Actually, I didn't want to talk today about anything. But I have to...
All right, please direct your comments to us.
I have to respond for this stupid kid that don't even know what the heck he's talking about. And I tell you, as a proud Jewish man, I invite him to debate me anytime that he wants, anytime. And I can only tell you, after watching the hearing in Washington, D.C. with the 3 presidents of 3 of our best universities in this country a few days ago, I'm not surprised that we have to hear somebody like him, you know. And I can tell you too that the people who brought slavery to the United States wasn't Jewish people, okay? Go back to 1620, 1619 and check with the British people. Check with them. But obviously, you're not smart enough. I don't know who you listen to. I don't know who you think you are. But I tell you, you are just dumb, stupid kid that take all his misery on people that I tell you what, Your only problem with them, you're just jealous at them. Because you never see Jewish people who complain, who crying, with all the shit that they, hey,
all right, continue.
Just shut up.
Zeph,
With all,
continue to talk to us.
with all the things that Jewish people had to go over the years, you never listen to them complaining and crying. And I tell you what, I wonder what you're doing for this community, but I can tell you that even if you live 500 years, you won't be able to do what my family doing for this community. So with all your misery, I don't feel sorry for you. I don't really care about you, but I would love to debate you. I love to debate you. Tell me everything that you want. I can take it all, okay? And then I hope you listen to me. I feel sorry for you that you listen to people that don't know anything what you talk. I know with the internet nowadays, you can go and nothing on the internet that you read, it's fact. And I really don't care, I really don't care. I just feel sorry. I can't believe how much stupidity one person can show in 3 minutes. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, please do not disrupt. Please do not disrupt the orderly conduct of these proceedings by continuing to speak out from the audience. Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to come forward to speak under public comment for items not on the agenda, and each person has 3 minutes?
Before I say what I intended to say, I just wanted to say that, of course, I decry anti-Semitism and Nazism in all their forms. But also, I would like to speak a little bit about some of my feelings regarding some of the police brutality that's occurred. I am a person living with serious mental illness. I have been an advocate for a number of years, and I don't feel particularly safe in Modesto regarding some of the things that have occurred with the police force. When I am unwell, I do not appear a together and controlled person. I experience very disruptive symptoms of mental health conditions, and I don't feel safe approaching a police officer in Modesto because of some of the things that have occurred in this city. I feel as if I were unwell and I needed help, the last thing I should do in this city is ask a police officer for help. I feel as if my safety is not a priority to you, and I feel that this city needs to address the systemic police brutality that has occurred here in a direct way that allows people like myself who experience serious mental illness to feel safe and respected by the police force of this city. Thank you, and have a happy holidays.
Thank you. Right, is there anyone else that would like to speak?
Mayor, council, it's been quite a night. I want to bring up about integrity. I want to commend Councilman Chris Rickey for the integrity that he did to try to save the A&W root beer sign from A&W here in Modesto, to preserve it as a piece of history. Unfortunately, the person he made the agreement with didn't have that integrity to fulfill what they had agreed upon. And so unfortunately, that sign will not be kept here in Modesto in our museum. It'll be moving to wherever we don't know. Also, my grandfather, Second War veteran, uncles, Second War veterans, fought against the Nazis. One of my associates, as you well know, Tina, her father, was in a Nazi war camp, but I went one step further. It was in a concentration camp held by the Nazis. So he was given a number tattooed on his arm. The Nazis, they should have been eradicated a long time ago. And unfortunately, we didn't finish the job. This is what happens when you have indoctrination within a culture. And unfortunately, that culture, the Nazi Party culture, they indoctrinated their people. And it really ruined a lot of young minds. And this is the end results of indoctrination. On our campuses today, we're seeing it along with the anti-Jewish sentiment that's out there. And it's not fair to those people because they've been shortchanged by the education that they've received because of this indoctrination. We like to see it to end. I feel bad for the Jewish people because hate doesn't help. It just hurts and makes things worse. It divides people, it divides communities along others. So, thank you.
You're welcome. Right. Is there anyone else wishing to come forward to speak under public comment at this time? Seeing none, next on the agenda is consent items. An item may be removed from consent and discussed at the request of a member of the public or council member. Is there anyone on the council that would like a consent item removed for further discussion? Seeing none, is there anyone in the public that would like an item removed from consent for further discussion or comment? Seeing none, will the city clerk please read the consent items?
Yes, Mayor. Item 1, consider approving the minutes from the December 5th, 2023 council meeting. Item 2, consider approving final adoption of ordinance 3776-CS, amending section 11-6.05, charges for metered water service of Chapter 6, collection of public utility charges of Title 11, public utilities of the Modesto Municipal Code to establish a water rate surcharge for new water connections located outside of the city's water service area. Item 3, consider approving a fourth amendment to the legal services agreement with Nossaman LLP for a revised total amount not to exceed $2,200,000, adjusting rates and extend the term of the agreement for one remaining year, and a sixth amendment to the legal services agreement with Barkowitz, Cronick, and Shanahan, PC, for a revised total amount not to exceed $392,300 for continued representation in water-related matters. Item 4, consider approving amendments to Community Police Review Board bylaws. Item 5, consider approving a 10-year lease agreement with John A. Pelosio and Doreen J. Pelosio to lease approximately 5,325 square feet located at 4701 Quintern Lane, Modesto, in the amount of $1,681.24 for the 2024 payment, with the cost of living increase of 3% each year for 10 years with 2 5-year extension options. Item 6, consider approving an agreement with the Modesto Children's Museum for a 2-year term for discounted employee parking. Item 7, consider approving an amendment to the Section 4 Policy Home Investment Partnership Program Policy of the Housing and Urban Development Policies and Procedures Manual. Item 8, consider approving administrative amendments to the Consolidated Plan for Program Year 2015 through 2020 and Administrative Amendment Number 1 to City Annual Action Plan for Program Years 2017 through 2018 and 2023 through 2024 Annual Action Plan. Item 9, consider approving a First Amendment to the catering and concessionaire agreement between the City of Modesto and Modesto Hospitality LLC to provide catering and concessionaire services to the Modesto Century Plaza. Item 10, consider approving the Fifth Amendment to the agreement regarding John Thurman Field with the Baseball Club of Modesto LLC as successor in interest to HWS Baseball 4 LLC, extending the expiration date of the accelerated termination provision from December 31st, 2023 to February 29th, 2024. Item 11, consider approving a will serve letter and outside service agreement with Mashakti Jagran and Ramayana Stanza Incorporated and a California nonprofit corporation to connect to the City of Modesto's existing water system for the property located at 4801 Tully Road. Item 12, consider approving a will serve letter and outside service agreement with Pana Yi and Ravin Yi, husband and wife, as joint tenants to connect to the City of Modesto's existing sewer system for the property located at 2012 Blue Gum Avenue. Item 13, consider approving the plans and specs for the State Route 99 Pallandale Interchange Reconstruction Phase 2, Pallandale Avenue and 6th Road, CML 5059258 project, accepting the bid and awarding the contract to United Pavement Maintenance Incorporated of Houston, California, and the amount of $1,669,217, authorizing the Director of Engineering Services to approve change orders up to the cumulative amount of $166,922, 10% of the original contract price, for a total agreement amount not to exceed $1,836,139. Item 14, consider approving a second amendment to increase the agreements with Badger Meter Incorporated for the purchase of Badger water meters, automated meter readers, and related parts to a total revised amount not to exceed $12,340,760 over 5 years. Item 15, consider accepting the monthly investment report for September 2023. Item 16, consider approving a memorandum of understanding with the Stanislaus County Fire Warden's Office for hazardous materials emergency response for a 3-year term. Item 17, consider approving an agreement with Zoom Video Communications Incorporated for professional deployment services in the amount of $53,297 and the purchase of Zoom room equipment from Think Fast Track for $188,307 for a total amount not to exceed $241,604. Item 18, consider approving the purchase of binocular box cameras with DotWorks systems out of San Diego, California for a total amount not to exceed $859,332, and a purchase of Cradle Points with AT&T FirstNet for a total amount not to exceed $158,376. Item 19, consider approving a purchase agreement with Axon Enterprises Incorporated out of Scottsdale, Arizona for body-worn cameras, tasers, and related equipment and software for a total amount not to exceed $6,125,690 over 5 years. Item 20, consider approving an agreement with Officer Nicholas Largent for the purchase of retired City of Modesto Police K-9 Hank in the amount of $1. Item 21, consider accepting the Department of Health and Human Services Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration grant in the amount of $970,370 in grant funds with no match requirement. Item 22, consider approving the second amendment to the agreements with Mansfield Learley and Associates for polygraph examination services for a new total amount of $231,485 over 3 years and extending the term of the agreement to July 12, 2024. Item 23, consider approving a purchase order with Vigilant Solutions LLC out of Dallas, Texas for the update and expansion of the Modesto Police Department's automated license plate reader program for an amount not to exceed $2,939,812, approving a purchase order with Special Services Group SSG out of Marina, California for the purchase of equipment, software installation, and warranty for cameras and trackers for an amount not to exceed $122,366, approving a purchase order with DotWorks out of San Diego, California for the purchase of equipment, software, and warranty for quad PTC camera systems for an amount not to exceed $357,528, and approving a purchase order with Vorp Energy out of Rexburg, Idaho for the purchase of equipment, software, and warranty for camera trailers for an amount not to exceed $218,883. Item 24, consider an engineering services agreement with Blackwater Consulting Engineers of Modesto, California for the Paradise Grimes, Ohio area straighten and replace water mains project in the amount not to exceed $489,500. And item 25, consider approving a grant of easement right to the Sacramento and San Joaquin Drainage District and a land grant to Reclamation District 2091.
All right, may I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Councilmember Wright, second by Councilmember Escutia-Brayton. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Councilmember Escutia-Brayton?
Aye.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Ricky?
Aye.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
And Mayor Zwollen.
Aye. Carries 6-0 with 1 absence. Next on the agenda is council comments and reports. Do any of the council members have any comments and reports? Councilmember Wright.
Thank you, Mayor. Last week, the Board of Supervisors approved a conditional permit for Adult Teen Challenge out in Ceres, California. Adult Teen Challenge is a Christian organization that takes men that have life-challenging problems and really helps turn their lives around. They have 35 acres and they have a 7,000 square foot metal building. And for the last couple of years, I've been working with Joe Duran from here in town, along with Rick Souza, the Teen Challenge CEO, and a couple of our county supervisors to have a company called R3, which builds modular units for workforce housing, small homes out of Salinas, to start producing them here in Modesto and Stanislaus County. So I'm happy to report that starting in the first of the year, Teen Challenge will start building workforce houses. A lot of this workforce that we have are in our gospel mission and also Salvation Army, taking up beds. And these tiny homes will be available for different organizations to put on different pieces of property to help relieve some of the pressure in our shelters. It's a great program. It's going to help rehabilitate men that are trying to get their lives back together and also work skills. And I'm so happy that the county supervisors and the planning commission for the county has seen the importance and also see the benefit of building them locally. So I look forward to having these built and getting them out in the community for nonprofits that might want to use them. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. And before resuming council comments and reports, we will take a 5-minute break. We will resume at 6:32. Thank you. Welcome back. Next, we will hear under council comments and reports from Vice Mayor Chris Rickey.
Thank you, Mayor. Many of you are aware of the loss of the A&W Root Beer location. It was built in 1957 in downtown Modesto. Several months ago, I began calling for the city's Landmark Preservation Committee to protect it before it was too late. Unfortunately, the committee didn't have enough members to meet, so I helped recruit more members, and now the committee has enough members to act. But we didn't, and we haven't. And yesterday, the restaurant's classic A&W sign was put up for sale. And I tried to buy it to donate it to the museum, but I failed. They sold it to someone else for twice the asking price. Modesto has a responsibility to protect its history, and it's just really disappointing that we failed. However, Modesto is also doing some really good work, especially on homelessness. I want to thank the Downtown Streets team for all their hard work this year, including finding housing for 43 of their members. I also want to thank city staff for working with local homeless shelters to open warming centers to protect the homeless from the winter elements. I'm also very pleased with the local response to the homeless bridge housing RFQ. The city's hard work in getting the word out is going to result in more help for people that need it most. And finally, I just want to say that this city belongs to everyone, regardless of your race, your religion, or your sexual orientation, and that tolerance and diversity is our country's superpower. And that's what makes America great. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. I do want to start with letting the public know that there's a free Christmas breakfast that's going to take place on the 25th, and it will be at the Sunrise Fellowship building located at 1064 or 1064 Woodland Avenue. This is an annual event that they have. And I was given this flyer a few days ago from the pastor, a friend of mine, and wanted to let anyone know who, if they're not doing anything on Christmas Day and they need clothes or toys or food, they will be handing out all of those items. Again, the address is 1064 Woodland Avenue, and last year I believe about 500 people attended that event, and this is on the 25th. You know, some folks don't have anywhere to go or a place to go or family in this community, and so I definitely wanted to make sure that was publicized. Also, my son and daughter, who have a nonprofit organization, will be doing a basketball giveaway on the 16th, which is Saturday, starting at 11 to 1 o'clock, and that will be at Martin Luther King Park. And this is my daughter's 6th year and my son's 12th year in doing this for the community, and it's always a great time to be. And that is on Martin Luther King Drive, 601 North Martin Luther King Drive, 11 o'clock this coming Saturday. And lastly, I'd like to say to all of my council members or fellow council members that are here, city staff, as well as our mayor, and that you may have a Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas, that you may enjoy your family, whether it's large or small, whether it's one or two, that you'll be able to reflect on the wonderful things that have happened, the good and the bad, let's say, that has happened this year. But it was a pleasure, it was a true pleasure being able to serve with all of you. I'm thankful that I'm in this place with you, and so may God bless all of you.
Thank you. Councilmember Scudia Brayton.
Thank you, Mayor. This being the end of the last meeting that we have in 2023, it makes sense to speak to just the many accomplishments that we did collectively as a city for the benefit of those that live in the city of Modesto, and that I am so proud, as Councilmember Williams indicated, to serve with each one of you, that in addressing them, we did a lot. We accomplished a lot, beginning with the passage of Measure H, which was voted on by the people to benefit the public safety, public's health and safety, and it has gone on, the funding from that to do that, to improve our roads and our forestry. Also, the accomplishment that we did in the passage with the 7th Street housing, that unit that's going to go on to provide much needed housing units for underserved communities. Also, the formation of our CPRB, the Community Police Review Board, and despite some sentiments of that organization isn't productive, it really went on to provide a voice to a constituency group, to our community that were before it wasn't organized, and it was because of the strength and vision of this council that brought this forward with the collaboration of our community to help our community organize its voice in that arena and represent what the community wants, and provide it in an advisory fashion to this council to make best decisions for our city. So the formation of the CPRB does that, and I was very glad that was made possible in 2023. We also hired a new charter officer, which was an immense undertaking, and it was long in the making. And that new charter officer serves as our city auditor, and they're going to go on and do some great work that will help the city continue to be transparent in the work that it does for our people, as well as the passage of the safe parking that gave us yet another option to offer to our constituents that are disadvantaged at the time in the area of their living situation. But these are just a handful of immense things that we have done that have only been made possible by city staff that has done amazing work, and that has been made possible by our police and firefighters that also just really go up and beyond. And again, through the leadership that everyone has put forth here, I mean, I'm preaching to the choir when I say that we entered this willingly with full knowledge that it's going to be an immense undertaking, and we do the best we can, and we do it with heartfelt good intentions. And I'm very proud, as Councilmember Williams indicated, to work alongside you and doing the best work we could do in making Modesto a great place to live. So I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year's with your loved ones. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, Councilmember Alvarez.
Thank you, Mayor. Over the past weekend, I attended SMBU's, or South Modesto Business United's annual holiday posada, or gift giveaway, along with my colleague Rosa Escutia-Brayton. My colleague David Wright also stopped by and helped pass out gifts. And forgive me if I'm not mentioning any others that were there. Mayor Zwollen stopped by after me, but it was nice to be able to attend that as we do every year, even before being elected. And approximately 5,000, give or take, families received gifts, tamales, and hot chocolate that evening. So I want to give a special shout out and thank you to South Modesto Business United for their contributions to the City of Modesto, specifically on the Crows Landing corridor. I also want to commend the Modesto All Children Thrive project, or Modesto ACT project, for their invaluable contributions to the City of Modesto, and Tuolumne River Park, and our community parks. The Modesto ACT project, or All Children Thrive project, is a valley-wide effort led by the Tuolumne River Trust. Well, let me back up. The Modesto chapter of that project is led by the Tuolumne River Trust, a nonprofit organization dedicated to park equity and restoring the Tuolumne River watershed. They have specifically focused their efforts to increase safety and access and make improvements at James Marshall Park and Robertson Road Park in Modesto in District 2. They are collaborating with the City of Modesto Parks and Rec Department and Neighborhoods Department to present an equity resolution, which we're all looking forward to. The Modesto Act project has also engaged, as was said earlier, from youth from the public, the Park Youth Committee, which is comprised of 20 high school youth who have been at the forefront of the project and advocating for these specific changes. I also want to take a moment to publicly condemn hate speech and highlight that the City of Modesto is a welcoming and diverse community, as you can all see for yourselves from the demographically reflective government we have sitting up here before you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Councilmember Scooty-Brayton, I see your name again. Did you? Okay. All right. Are there any other comments from council members? Councilmember Williams.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I attended Saturday, one of our employees of 20 years, a young man who was 38 years old, who worked for the City of Modesto, had nothing to do with working at the city that caused his illness. But I do want to send our condolences to his family. He worked for us since he was 18 years old, 38-year-old young man with 3 children, and just wanted to send our condolences to his family, and definitely wanted to put that on record.
All right, thank you. Any other council member comments or reports? Does the city manager have any comments and reports?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I just want to express my gratitude to you, Mayor, and the City Council for your dedication and hard work to the City of Modesto and the community with which we live. I know how much hard work you guys all put into it, and I just appreciate every one of you and hope you guys have a happy holidays and a great new year. And I also want to express similar sentiments to our city staff who come to work each and every day to try and make this city and this community better for its residents. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you get to spend this holiday season with your family and friends and reflect on all the positive we've been able to accomplish in this community and look forward to what we're going to be able to accomplish in 2024. So thank you, Mayor. You're welcome.
Next on the item on the agenda is hearings. Item 26, a hearing to consider approving the abandonment of a 0.548 acre portion of East Glen Avenue located east of Reliance Street and west of the Union Pacific Railroad. And we will have a staff report. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. Jessica Hill, Director of Community and Economic Development. So a little bit of background on the proposal today is the city received an application from G3 Enterprises on August 3rd to abandon a portion of East Glen Avenue east of Reliance Street. The portion of road is at the from the existing intersection of Glen and Reliance to the railroad tracks. So up above is a map of what the abandonment of the street would look like, and the dedication of this area was offered to the city in October 1989 as part of a parcel map, and that's when staff believed that East Glen would extend from Reliance Street to the railroad. The abandonment area is paper only and has no infrastructure in place. So we went ahead and sent referrals to all relevant departments, and the city engineer indicated that there was no plan or need to extend Glen to this portion of land, and the extension would not provide any access and would dead end into the existing railroad. In order to ensure we had sufficient access, a 30-foot public utility easement is required to contain the sewer, water facilities, and for proposed electrical services to the warehouses to the north. Additionally, there are no CEQA concerns and no other CEQA studies are needed. Planning Commission recommended the approval on November 6th, and pursuant to the Streets and Highways Code, the notice of the hearing was posted in the B as well as on site 14 days prior to the hearing since November 27, 2023. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, does council have any questions of staff? Seeing none, I'll now open the public hearing.
Sorry.
Oh, excuse me.
Sorry.
Take that noise away, and we have.
I'm so sorry. I
That's
just have
all
one quick
right, Vice
question.
Mayor Ricky.
Are they planning on extending their infrastructure out there or any of their business activities into that area?
What really triggered this is earlier in the year, the site actually went through a development plan review where we identified that the abandonment could take place for future development out there. Yes.
Do we have an idea of what that is, or is that still?
At this time, I do not.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions from council members? All right, I'll now open the public hearing. Are there any members of the public that would like to come forward regarding item 26? Welcome.
Steve Lay with G3. Just here, making myself available to answer any questions on the parcel to the north and the parcel to the south. Plans for warehouses, which we're correctly zoned to do.
All right, thank you for your comments. Any other members of the public regarding item 26? Seeing none, I will close public comments. Are there any further comments from council members regarding item 26? Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to thank G3 for even wanting to expand their operations, which is good for our city, so that there can be others who can be employed, particularly with G3, because they are a reputable company. So thank you for thinking outside the box and expanding your horizon.
All right, any other comments from council members regarding this item? Seeing none, I have a resolution approving the abandonment of 0.548 acre portion of East Glen Avenue located east of Reliance Street and west of the Union Pacific Railroad. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Wright, second by Vice Mayor Ricky. Will the clerk please call the roll for this item?
Councilmember Wright.
Aye.
Councilmember Scutia-Brayton.
Aye.
Councilmember Alvarez.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Ricky.
Aye.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
And Mayor Zwellen.
Aye, so it carries 6-0, 1 absent. Are there any matters too late for the agenda? Seeing none, I am calling this meeting of the City Council to be adjourned.